and thank you for watching us. This is 6 at 6. I'm Suesha Samant. We get you all the top stories that are making news this evening. First, we get you details of the massive uproar that gripped the streets of Nepal amid a showdown between the police and pro-monarchy protesters. Next up, we'll get you how US President Donald Trump was all praises for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, indicating that the trade relations between Washington and New Delhi will fare well even in the face of the tariff threat. After that is Anti-Waqf Amendment Bill, where voices have gained momentum. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi, who's once again come out very strongly against the bill and the central government, supporting a black ban protest. And well, at least 16 Maoists who have been gunned down in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district, and Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who said that the red threat will fully be eradicated by 2026. Veteran Bollywood actor and BJP leader Mithun Chakrabarti, who said that Hindus will go extinct in West Bengal if they do not step up to vote for change. And finally, the massive earthquake that jolted Myanmar and has taken over 1,000 lives, 1,600 people who are injured. India has sent 15 tons in relief essentials to the country. And well, at least 2 people were killed, 45 others were injured, 105 people who were arrested after protests in Kathmandu calling for the restoration of Nepal's monarchy that ended in clashes with the cops. Thousands of protesters who rallied in Nepal's capital on Friday to demand a return of the Hindu monarchy, which was abolished in 2008. The pro-royalist movement that is calling for the return of Gyanendra Shah, who was Nepal's last reigning monarch and still has a loyal following in the country. In fact, support for the pro-monarchy movement that has surged recently as Nepal grapples with ongoing political and economic instability that has led to widespread dissatisfaction with the government, chaos that has engulfed through the streets as protests of homes that have been vandalized, shops and buildings that have been torched started to make rounds. Those are the pictures on your screens. The situation certainly tense as these protesters are demanding the rule of the Hindu kingdom monarchy to be restored, as they are unhappy with the ruling government. There you see how they took to the streets, stones were pelted, vehicles were set on fire, and utter chaos that continues to ensue Kathmandu. We continue to stay with those pictures that are on your screens. Cars were set on fire, shops were looted. Nepal pro-monarchy protests that turned extremely violent, as you can see. In fact, several people who were injured. Authorities in Nepal who have over 100 people, as the government is investigating the violence that occurred during this protest march that was organized by the supporters of former King Gyanendra Shah, seeking the restoration of the constitutional monarchy in Nepal. Parts of Kathmandu that witnessed a very tense situation after pro-monarchy protesters pelted stones, attacked the office of a political party, set fire on vehicles and looted shops in the capital. There you see pictures of the violence that engulfed Kathmandu. In fact, a curfew that has been imposed in several parts of Nepal. And joining us on the broadcast is Sanjeev Fuyal. Thank you for speaking to Republic this evening. Take us through the latest situation on the ground. All right, we may have to restore that connection with Sanjeev Fuyal at a later point. But For the moment, we shift our focus to highlighting a positive outlook towards the Indo-US trade talks. President Donald Trump, who sounded extremely optimistic, he said the tariffs are going to work out well between New Delhi and Washington, D.C., expecting a favorable outcome. While speaking at the White House, Trump also praised his great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, calling him a very smart man. Trump expressed confidence that the ongoing trade discussions between the two nations would yield positive results despite his administration's push for reciprocal tariffs on Indian goods. His remarks that come amid escalating trade tensions, with the US preparing to impose reciprocal tariffs on countries including India over what Trump has described as unfair trade practices.
The countdown has begun for what Trump has dramatically dubbed as Liberation Day on April 2nd. But for India, this could be the dawn of a new economic era. With D-Day just around the corner, the winds of diplomacy seem to be shifting in New Delhi's favor. Could this be the moment when India emerges stronger on the global trade battlefield? In a powerful endorsement, US President Donald Trump once again hailed Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a great friend and a smart strategist. Trump emphasized that discussions between the two nations have been fruitful and well calibrated, a clear sign that India is playing its cards right.
You know, Prime Minister Modi was here just recently, and we've always been very good friends. India is one of the highest tariffing nations in the world. You know that. I know. Thank you for shaking your head, but it's brutal. It's brutal. They're very smart, and he's a very smart man and a great friend of mine, actually. And we had very good talks. I think it's going to work out very well between India and our country. Very, very well. And I want to say you have a great Prime Minister.
Both nations appear to be aligned in the vision on tariffs and economic cooperation. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri held high-stakes talks with US Deputy Secretary of Trade Christopher Landau. The agenda: strengthening India-US strategic ties, not just in trade, but also in defense, migration, and cutting-edge technology. The discussion wasn't just about numbers. It was about power, bilateral trade, defense agreements, and tech collaborations. Misri made it crystal clear: India and the US are witnessing an unprecedented convergence of strategic interests, and the momentum is undeniable. Meanwhile, US Assistant Trade Representative Brendan Lynch is already on Indian soil, locking in the details of a crucial bilateral trade agreement. And all of this is unfolding just days before Trump's reciprocal tariffs shake up global trade dynamics on April 2nd. The message is loud and clear. India is not just a participant in global trade. It is a power player dictating terms and securing its interests.
Mr. Kishore Subramaniam joining us on the broadcast this evening. Mr. Subramaniam, thank you for speaking to Republic. What do you make of this statement by Donald Trump? You think Modi's diplomacy will shelter India against a big tariff fallout?
Good evening. My 2 cents on it is very simple. See, diplomacy definitely helps, but for both Mr. Donald Trump and Narendra Modi, it comes as their country first. Donald Trump has America first and Narendra Modi has India first. So the posturing part of it, in terms of saying that, yes, we would like to negotiate and we would like to speak kindly and diplomacy will work, that will have a small impact. But the hard negotiations will happen behind the screen. And what is important to understand is that Donald Trump is clearly saying that reciprocal tariffs in terms of India is going to be high because Indians do post-tariff. So you've already seen that we have reduced the custom duty as far as Elon Musk's entry is concerned for EV, which was an entry barrier for EV for Tesla, and that's being broken. So there will be some softening on the stance, but I believe both the parties, both the countries behind the screens are going to negotiate hard. The impact of the bonhomie or the camaraderie is going to be little. But at the end of the day, the globe and the interdependence of the countries is very high. I don't think so America can ignore the world's largest democracy and probably the biggest consumer market. So I believe certain areas like auto and other components, the tariff imposition will be high. It will have an impact. But more importantly, what America will think and will need to think is that the tariff imposition will increase inflation domestically for America, and eventually, when the impact on the common American citizen is at about $1,200 to $1,600 per annum, they will start opposing it. I think it's an initial posturing. It will soften over a period of time. Diplomacy will add a little bit of cream, but both of them will negotiate hard behind the screens.
I also want to understand your perspective, as certain reports suggest that US tariff relief for India may not be treated like China, Canada, Mexico. You think we are in a more comfortable position?
Okay, so as far as the USMCA is concerned, you know that they have a trade deal, and that trade deal typically becomes defunct if this tariff start imposing for that belt. As far as EU and India is concerned, the situation is completely different. Let us understand that we have 144 crore people. So we are a consumption market. And at the end of the day, global relationships are all about economics. So at a macroeconomic level, as much as America can do the posturing that they don't need India, they can dump and they will have anti-dumping policies from China and they will bombard us with tariffs. Remember, the H-1B visa, which supplies the intellect to America is critically dependent on India. Number two, remember that if they go hard bargaining, India today is not a Pakistan or a Bangladesh where we will be pussyfooting and slowing down saying, oh my God, we are scared. That's not going to happen. India is a large consumer market. And remember that India will bargain hard. As far as the posturing is concerned, I'm telling you that on the diplomatic front, we will talk of bonhomie, we will be friends. But at the same time, let me also warn one thing. India will want this relationship as a leader of the global south with America very, very badly. So there will be leeway which India will give a little bit, but treating India on par with China or treating India on par with USMCA is not going to happen.
Right.
Neither am I saying that we will be treated with kids' gloves. It will be hard bargaining. And if you have noted the statements of Donald Trump, he has very clearly said, Modi ji is a very hard negotiator. At the same time, he's a friend. I think it will be a 30-70, some hard tariffs, some leeway, some diplomacy, and some gains for both the parties on the economic front.
All right, we wait and watch what happens eventually. I want to thank you at the moment for putting out those details. And moving on, as the dissent over the Waqf Amendment Bill is intensifying, in the latest AIMIM President Asaduddin Owaisi on Friday, who voiced his vociferous opposition to the centre's Waqf Amendment Bill, he said the proposed legislation is a direct assault on Muslims as it would snatch their properties away. While wearing a black armband to a call by the AIMPLB, that is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, to protest against the bill, Owaisi said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi aims to target mosques and dargah with the proposed amendment to the law. Owaisi has questioned how non-Muslims could become members of the Waqf board when only Hindus and Sikhs can be members of temple and Gurudwara boards. Listen.
देखिए, एक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के होम मिनिस्टर है और उनका ये बोलना इस बात का सबूत है कि आपको कोर्ट में चैलेंज कर लो। क्या मतलब आप एक अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कानून क्यों बना रहे हैं आप पार्लियामेंट में? और कोर्ट को चलो, कोर्ट तो है, एज अ गवर्नमेंट आप एक अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कानून क्यों बनाना चाह रहे हैं जो संविधान के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का आर्टिकल 14 का, आर्टिकल 25 का, 26 का, 29 का ग्रेव वायलेशन है? और आप ये बोल रहे कि इसमें किसी को नुकसान नहीं होने। नुकसान आप जो बना, अगर लॉ बनेगा तो पूरे भारत में मुस्लिम वक्फ बोर्ड को नुकसान होगा, और ऐसा लॉ बना रहे जिससे गवर्नमेंट वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज को छीनना चाह रही मुसलमानों से। उसमें जो प्रोविजंस है, आप लिमिटेशन एक्ट क्यों अप्लाई करेंगे? लिमिटेशन एक्ट ना हिंदू धर्म के एंडोमेंट बोर्ड पर अप्लाई होता, ना सिर्फ गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी पे होता। तो जो एंक्रोचर है 12 साल से उसको आप ओनर बनाना चाह रहे। वक्फ इवैक्यू प्रॉपर्टी का सेक्शन आप निकाल दे रहे। क्यों निकाल रहे भाई? किसको फायदा होगा उससे? जो लाखों रुपए की रेवेन्यूज आते हैं वक्फ इवैक्यू प्रॉपर्टी से, आप उसको ओमिट कर रहे हैं। तीसरा, जो ट्राइब्यूनल में आप अभी प्रोविजन है कि सिटिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कंट्रोल में रहता, उस वहां के स्टेट के चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ हाई कोर्ट में आप बोल रहे रिटायर्ड जज को लगाएंगे। और अमित शाह झूठ बोल रहे देश को कि वक्फ के ट्राइब्यूनल के खिलाफ कोर्ट को नहीं जा सकते। कितना झूठ बोल रहे अमित शाह। एनजीटी का ट्राइब्यूनल है, इनकम टैक्स का ट्राइब्यूनल है, रेलवे क्लेमेंट्स ट्राइब्यूनल है, ऐसे कई ट्राइब्यूनल है जिसके जजमेंट के बाद आप रिव्यू पिटीशन डालते। आप वो प्रोविजन है, आप बोल रहे अपील करो। भाई रिव्यू अपील तो कोर्ट को जाएगा ना, चाहे रिव्यू हो अपील हो तो कोर्ट को जाएंगे, हायर कोर्ट को, हाई कोर्ट को। तो अमित शाह देश को गुमराह कर रहे हैं गलत बयान देकर। और फिर आप मुस्लिम वक्फ बोर्ड में नॉन मुस्लिम को मेंबर क्यों बनाना चाह रहे हैं, बताइए आप, क्या वजह है बनाने की?
And well, as the All India Muslim Personal Law Board and AIMIM have upped the ante against the Waqf Amendment Bill 2025, the centre has also hit back at Owaisi. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju, who slammed Hyderabad MP, saying Owaisi should read the bill before making any false statements and misleading the Muslim community, while BJP leader Tarun Chugh, who has accused Owaisi of playing communal politics.
वक्फ अमेंडमेंट बिल जो हम लेके आए हैं उसमें गरीब मुसलमानों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए, मुसलमानों में जो बैकवर्ड कम्युनिटी है सबके लिए, और एक अच्छा सोच के साथ जो मुसलमानों में जिस लोगों को फ़ायदा नहीं मिला आज तक, दुनिया का सबसे ज़्यादा वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी हिंदुस्तान में है। इससे अगर मुसलमानों के लिए और गरीब मुसलमानों के लिए अगर काम आए, ये सब चाहेंगे। इसीलिए कोई लोग इसको जैसे अफवाहें फैलाता है, मस्जिदें छिन जाएंगे, कब्रिस्तान छिनने जा रहा है, कैसे कर सकता है? हमारा देश कानून से चलता है, संविधान से चलता है। कोई किसी का जमीन, कब्रिस्तान या मस्जिद छीन सकता है क्या? प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने सबका साथ सबका विकास का नारा लगाया है, इसलिए सब एक है। अलग अलग भाव से ये धर्म वो धर्म के नज़र से मत देखिए।
ओवैसी साहब, धर्म के नाम पर देश को गुमराह करना बंद करिए। मोदी सरकार ने सदन के पटल पर स्पष्ट किया है कि वक्फ संशोधन बिल का उद्देश्य भूमाफियों के चुगल से वक्फ संपत्तियों को मुक्त कराना है, गरीब मुस्लिम परिवारों को उनका हक दिलाना है, वक्फ के प्रबंधन में पारदर्शिता बढ़ाना और मनमाने ढंग से दुरुपयोग रोकना है। राहुल गांधी और ओवैसी जैसे नेता सिर्फ देश में नफरत की राजनीति कर रहे हैं। क्या वो नहीं चाहते कि मुस्लिम महिलाओं को, वंचितों को अधिकार मिले? क्या जनता के सामने स्पष्ट करें कि वो भूमाफिया के साथ है कि वक्फ के प्रबंधन में पारदर्शिता के साथ है? देश जानना चाहता है।
Cutting across to Mr. N.V. Subhash from the BJP joining us on the broadcast. Well, Mr. Subhash, the BJP is very clear in its messaging, but Asaduddin Owaisi and similar forces who are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that they put out their message to the Muslim community, so much so that he's now resorting to a black band protest.
See, as far as this board amendment bill is concerned, it is in the Bharatiya Janata Party manifesto earlier in 2024 elections, and it has been tabled in the parliament, and joint parliamentary committee has been formed in which different stakeholders have been asked to give their suggestions. It has been postponed, and many people have given so much of suggestions in that. There are so many gaps, there are so many shortfalls in the Waqf Amendment Bill, because these properties, which have been left by people who have migrated from India to Pakistan, it is now under the custody of, Muslim leaders and some, leaders, and along with some other political parties in that, where the land records are not very clear, and only certain people in the Muslim community we have been enjoying the benefits on that. So this amendment bill has been, very clear in that. And then we have asked all the, the JPC to give the suggestions which has been given in that. So as far as Asaduddin Owaisi is concerned, he is only one target, that whatever good he, Modi government wanted to do for the country, especially the Muslim minorities, he always put a brake on that so that he will get some, the political mileage on that. Why this kind of hypocrisy when he is heading his own party, which always he says that it is, the secular party, the name itself, All India Muslim, Ittihad Muslimin, where the chief commissioner, chief election commissioner have asked that why, how come, we did not, we cannot recognize, de-recognize your party. He has no answer in that. He talks about secularism, but he hates the Muslim, the Muslim minority, the party in that. So this kind of provocating statement, which he wants to mislead the people, and then he wants to target only Modi. He says that the Muslim community has been targeted by Modi just by creating some fear mongering among the Muslim community, which people now have realized that Owaisi bar every time dhoka denge.
Right.
This is the main agenda of that. But when we see about this amendment bill, it is very clear and evident that every stakeholders in the Muslim minorities also should get benefits on that, because there is huge chunks of land, and then there is a lot of money involved in that, which they wanted to control on that. Why, OAC is stopping when a district magistrate, he doesn't belong to the political party, and the constitutional authorities who will be involved in that, who will be taking the stakes on that, which will benefit the Muslim community, where many people in Muslim community, the minorities are benefiting so much of schemes which have been implemented by Modi government, especially the triple talaq and so much of schemes in that. He wants to put a break so that he will get his own, the piece of pie on that, the piece of cake on that. The Bharatiya Janata Party is very clear that in this parliament session, we are going to implement, we are going to approve, we are going to table this in the parliament, where we have so many stakeholders and they are supporting. Even NDA government just NDA stakeholders also have vetted this, and major section of the minority community also are welcoming on that. And he protests in that. See, he has chosen a date yesterday, which happens to be the last Friday of the Ramzan.
Right.
Is it really provocative or not? What is this? What is that? If he's really interested in the benefits from for the Muslim community, he should talk to Modi, and then he should he has all the the platform in the parliament. He can give a lot of suggestions in that.
Right.
This is nothing but creating a chaotic situation so that he will put a fear in Muslim community, so that he will get some kind of votes.
Right. Point taken. I want to thank you for speaking to us this evening. And well, at least 17 Maoists who were killed, 2 security personnel who sustained injuries in a major anti-Maoist operation in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district. The injured Jawans who belong to the District Reserve Guard, that is DRG, a unit of the state police. The gunfight that broke out at around 8 in the forest under the Kerala police station area. This happened at 8 in the morning, where a joint team of security personnel were out on an anti-Maoist operation. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah hailed the security forces for eliminating Maoists in Sukma. Home Minister Amit Shah, who said that the Modi government is resolving to eliminate red terror by the 31st of March 2026. Home Minister Amit Shah, who also further added that my appeal to those with arms is that weapons and violence cannot bring change. Only peace and development can. Take a look at this report.
Another massive win for the forces in the continuing crackdown on red terror in Chhattisgarh. As many as 17 Maoists were neutralized in a fierce exchange of fire that went down in the forests of Sukma in Chhattisgarh.
अभियान के दौरान आज प्रातः 8 बजे से लेकर अनेक बार माओवादी एवं सुरक्षा बल के बीच में मुठभेड़ हुई। मुठभेड़ के उपरांत इलाका का सर्चिंग में कुल 16 माओवादियों का डेड बॉडी अब तक रिकवर की गए थे। घटनास्थल से काफ़ी बड़ी संख्या में AK-47, SLR, इंसास एवं अन्य हथियार भी बरामद किए गए थे। आसपास इलाका में अभी सर्चिंग जारी है। इस मुठभेड़ के दौरान हमारा 2 जवान घायल भी हो गए। उनकी स्थिति अभी सामान्य एवं खतरा से बाहर है। उनकी इवैक्यूएशन के लिए आवश्यक व्यवस्था की जा रही है। आसपास इलाका में रीइंफोर्समेंट टीम द्वारा भी सर्चिंग की जा रही है। इस मुठभेड़ में अन्य और भी माओवादी कैडर घायल होना या मारा जाने की संभावना है। उसको देखते हुए आसपास इलाके में अभी भी लगातार सर्चिंग जारी है।
The gunfight comes close on the heels of 2 separate operations in an area bordering Bijapur and Dantewada, in which 30 Maoists were gunned down. According to sources, 2 District Reserve Guard personnel also sustained minor injuries in the firefight. The latest operation came as another significant blow to whatever remains of the Maoist insurgency in Chhattisgarh. A huge cache of automatic weapons and ammunition were recovered from the slain Maoists in the light of operation. Hailing the latest assault on red terror in the state, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Vishnu Desai lauded the forces for putting their lives on the line to fight the Maoists.
देखिए, सुकमा में आज नक्सली मुठभेड़ जिसमें अभी तक 16 नक्सलियों के डेड बॉडी मिले हैं और इस बहादुरी के लिए हम अपने सुरक्षा बल के जवानों को बहुत बहुत बधाई धन्यवाद देते हैं, उनके साहस को नमन करते हैं और लगातार हमारी सरकार को नक्सलवाद में बड़ी सफलता मिल रही है। हमारे सुरक्षा बल के जवान ताकत के साथ, बहादुरी के साथ नक्सलवाद के खिलाफ में लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं।
Also commending the operation on his social media handle, Union Home Minister Amit Shah reiterated his pledge to defeat Naxalism from the country by March 31st, 2026. Deputy Chief Minister Arun Shah said that Red Terror is taking its last breaths.
निश्चित रूप से लगातार जब ऑपरेशन हो रहा है, दुर्गम इलाकों में जा रहे हैं तो बड़े पैमाने पर हथियार, गोला बारूद बरामद हो रहे हैं, EID बरामद हो रहे हैं, तो नक्सलियों के सारे मंसूबे नाकाम होते जा रहे हैं और अब अंतिम सांस ले रही है नक्सलवाद हमारे बस्तर में। और ये जो है अब बस्तर हमारा शांति और विकास की ओर तेज गति से आगे बढ़ेगा।
According to sources, the forces launched an operation after receiving intelligence inputs on the presence of Maoists in the area. With the forces scripting success against the Red Terror yet again, the pledge to stamp out the Maoism by March 31st next year is well on the course.
Cutting across to Gaurav Tiwari, joining us live from Sukma. Gaurav, इस ऑपरेशन के बारे में हमें और जानकारी दीजिए। गौरव, आपके पास मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी हाँ, अब आ रही है आपकी आवाज।
जी, और क्या जानकारी है इस ऑपरेशन पर?
सुकमा के केरलापाल थाना क्षेत्र का यह मामला है, जहां पर आज सुबह ही नक्सली और पुलिस के बीच 2 घंटे लगातार फायरिंग हुई, मुठभेड़ हुआ। और इसमें मैं आपको बता दूं कि कल रात से ही DRG के जवान, जो सुकमा की स्थानीय जो फोर्स है, DRG जिला मुख्यालय की जो फोर्स है, जिला की जो फोर्स है, वो जवानों को पुलिस नक्सलियों के होने की जो है जानकारी मिली थी। और जिस जंगल पर नक्सलियों होने की जानकारी मिली थी, लगभग वह नेशनल हाईवे से 30 से 40 किलोमीटर अंदर है और काफी घना पहाड़ है। और उस पहाड़ पर 25 नक्सलियों के होने की जानकारी मिली थी, जिसके बाद DRG की टीम और CRPF 159 की जो टीम है, उन्होंने रात भर गश्त करके मौके पर पहुंचे। और मौके पर पहुंचने के बाद सुबह पुलिस और जवानों के बीच में जो है और नक्सलियों के बीच में जो है मुठभेड़ हुई। मुठभेड़ में 17 जो है नक्सली मारे गए हैं। और यह निश्चित ही सुकमा पुलिस को एक बड़ी सफलता है, क्योंकि लगातार जिस प्रकार से केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री ने ऐलान किया है कि मार्च 2026 तक छत्तीसगढ़ को नक्सल मुक्त कर देंगे और देश से नक्सल समस्या समाप्त कर देंगे, तो इसको लेकर के अब बस्तर संभाग के सभी जिलों में जो लगातार पुलिस कार्रवाई कर रही है, नक्सलियों को बैकफुट पर ढकेल रही है, नक्सलियों के गढ़ में लगातार कैंप खोले जा रहे हैं और नक्सलियों को मार गिराया जा रहा है। तो पिछले कुछ दिनों पहले बीजापुर, नारायणपुर जैसे जिलों में भी सफलता मिली थी, लेकिन अब सुकमा में बड़ी सफलता मिली, क्योंकि सुकमा पहले से ही काफी ज्यादा नक्सल गढ़ माना जाता था, लेकिन सुकमा में बड़ी सफलता नहीं मिल रही थी। नक्सल यहाँ से भाग जा रहे थे, दूसरे जिले, सीमावर्ती जो जिले हैं, बीजापुर और नारायणपुर या दंतेवाड़ा की ओर मूव कर जाते थे। लेकिन अब जो है सुकमा पुलिस को भी बड़ी सफलता मिली और 17 नक्सलियों को सुकमा पुलिस ने मार गिराया। और इसमें एक जो जगदीश जो है नक्सली, उस पर 25 लाख रुपए की जो है इनामी राशि घोषित थी। जी
राइट, आई वांट टू थैंक यू फॉर गेटिंग अस ऑल दोस डिटेल्स। Moving on, as veteran actor and BJP leader Mithun Chakrabarti, who's made a huge remark on the situation of Hindus in West Bengal. Chakrabarti has said that if the small number of Hindus do not come out to exercise their right to vote very soon, Hindus will have to face extinction under the rule of Mamata Banerjee-led TMC government in West Bengal. In fact, he's also emphasized that the situation will not occur if the BJP is brought to power in the state. Speaking at a BJP event in North Barakpur, Mithun urged Hindus to take pride in their Sanatani identity and actively participate in the electoral process. Mentioning about atrocities on Hindus in Bangladesh, Mithun Chakrabarti alerted the community, saying that they have already seen the trailer in Bangladesh of how minorities are being treated in wake of a political unrest, and urged Hindus to come out and cast their votes.
এখনো 9% হিন্দু ভোট দেয় না। আমি চিৎকার করে রিকোয়েস্ট করছি এবার ভোট করুন। বাংলাদেশ একটা ট্রেলার দেখিয়েছে আপনাদের, এরপরে পশ্চিম বাংলায় হিন্দু বাঙালি থাকবে কিনা সেটা নিয়ে আমার কাছে প্রশ্ন রয়ে যাবে। বি ভেরি কেয়ারফুল, ইভেন ইউ ইনক্লুডেড, বি ভেরি ভেরি কেয়ারফুল। কারণ যেসব মিটিং চলছে সেগুলো তো আপনারা খবর রাখেন না, সেটা বলতে পারবো না প্রকাশ্যে। অপোজিশনের তারা যেসব মিটিং করছে শুনলে পরে গায়ে কাটা দেবে, সেটা শুনবেন কিছুদিন পরে সব বেরিয়ে যাবে মার্কেটে। কিন্তু এটুকু বলে রাখলাম, এই 9% হিন্দুদের রিকোয়েস্ট করছি বেরিয়ে আসুন, ভোট করুন, এটা আমাদের অস্তিত্বের লড়াই।
And while two massive earthquakes that jolted Myanmar on Thursday of magnitude 7.7 that left a massive trail of destruction in the country torn by civil war between the military junta and rebel groups. Over 1,000 people who have been killed in the aftermath, and beyond 1,600 others who have been injured in one of the poorest countries where civil war tensions continue to grow. The Burmese authorities do not have enough resources to tackle the massive aftermath. India has in fact extended help to send out about 15 tons of relief essentials via the Indian Air Force's C-17 aircraft. Following suit, the US has also responded, offering to help rebuild Myanmar. In the neighboring country, Thailand, at least 6 people who have been killed and over 100 who continue to be trapped under the rubble after a 30-story skyscraper that came crumbling down into plumes of smoke because of the tremors. That's all we can pack for you in this edition of 6 at 6. We'll be back tomorrow with all the big stories. Thank you for watching.